Video 4 in the leadership and management series, coming to you live 70 miles an hour southbound Dallas North Tollway, about 18 degrees outside. We're going to work. Number 4, the leader sets the pace. Okay? If your people think it's okay to work at a snail's pace and take lots of breaks and be faux productive, you have nobody to blame for that but yourself. The number one way to get people to work faster is to exhibit that trait yourself. You need to be able to be seen. You need to be able, your people need to see you leading from the front. I use a lot of military analogies, and I'm going to try to not use a military analogy here. But you're the captain of your team, right? You need to be the first person in, the last person out every day. Your people need to see you working. And they need to understand, hey, if I can put, whatever. If I can build 100 widgets an hour, you can build 100 widgets an hour. If I can file 3 reports a week, you can file 3 reports a week. Whatever, however you quantify success in your industry, if you can do it, so can your team. You set the pace. Now, we talked about respecting individuality. That's true. But there are different, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? There's different ways for everybody on your team to achieve success and to be productive. And you're going to need to find that and maximize that. But the overall pace of what you do and how you do it, if you work 6 hours a day, 4 days a week, and when you're there, really only 2 or 3 hours a day you're actually working, you are sending a message to everybody else around you. This is acceptable behavior. It's not just acceptable, but this is how we work here. This is what we do. We crawl along at a snail's pace. Then you look at your quarterly reports and go, I don't understand why we're not making any money. Because you're paying people to lounge, which I can't stand. First business I ever had, doing tree trimming and tree removal and cutting timber, I'd go out and bid jobs. Let's say hypothetically a job would take a 4-man crew 8 hours, a day's work to complete. I would tell my guys, if you can get this job done sooner than 8 hours, I'm going to pay you for 8 hours. Imagine that. I had extremely productive crews. Because if they got it done in 6 hours, they could knock off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and get paid a day's wages. They would. Now you're asking yourself, what does that do for me? That's fewer hours on the equipment. It's less gasoline and diesel that's burnt. Right? Less wear and tear, lower maintenance costs. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, and I made my money. I had my margins figured out. I make money at an 8-hour day with a 4-man crew. I'm making money. Well, I can afford to pay them for 8 hours. They get the job done in 6. Or they get the job done in 4. And it's done properly, and it's legitimately, it's a win. They didn't cut any corners. They get the job done in 4. They make 8 hours worth of pay for that. And they go and do another 6-hour job. And the remaining 4 hours of that day, they worked 8 hours. They got paid for 14 hours. Now, that's an example. The legalities of that in today's world, I can't tell you. I'm not that guy. But what I'm telling you is I incentivized them to work and to get things done, and they did. And believe me, I was out there working with them. I still am. I'm taking a team of 5 guys to Dallas right now so that we can go install a house full of cabinets. It's 18 degrees. There's no heat. on this job site. All right, there's ice on the roads in certain areas, which for Texas is a big deal. Below freezing, they call the National Guard in, okay? Like, this is not New York or Chicago or, Seattle, where people are just okay when the temperature is below freezing. It doesn't happen here. But here we go to go set cabinets because it needs to get done. I could send 5 guys down here to do it, and it'll take them 2 or 3 days. They'll be miserable. They'll be whining and complaining the whole time because that's human nature. Or I can go with them, and we'll have it done by 4 o'clock this afternoon. Done, in, handled. And the next time I say I need y'all to do this for me, number 1, they will have context. We will have set the precedent. Yes, this is doable. It can be done. Number 2, they'll know that I'm not screwing around. I can do it. And if I can do it, so can you. Same thing with my tree business. There were many a time where my guys would get jammed up in the field. Here I come. Pickup truck with a chainsaw and some climbing gear and some ropes. Up the trees we go. Let's do it. A leader leads from the front. A leader sets the pace. Okay? I'm not a special snowflake. I'm not super unique. Everything I can do, you can do. You can probably do it better than I can do. Whatever your niche is, your niche market, whatever it is that is your glorious, beautiful individuality that allows you to succeed in life, you kick ass at it, you can do it, and you need to set that precedent for everybody else that's around you, that you're paying to be around you. That's your team, right? You need to inspire them to be the best that they can be. And I would add this final caveat. Fear is a poor motivator. I would much rather motivate people from loyalty, with kindness, with hope, by showing them what can be done, than by threatening them with what I will do to them if they don't get the job done. Fear is a very poor facsimile for hope when it comes to motivation. So, wield your power wisely, wield it with kindness and with love, but you can be productive and hardcore and loving at the same time. It's doable. Number 4, the leader sets the pace. Lead from the front, be visible, make things happen, and inspire your team.